Hey everyone, welcome back to a new session. In this session, we're gonna cover the concept called Kiro Powers. And as part of this learning, we're gonna see how we can leverage Kiro Power to deploy our local agent into AWS environment without writing a single line of code. So if you're not familiar with it, we're gonna go from the start. So you're gonna get some idea what Kiro Power is. Now, this is a link which you can go and read more about it, which can be found in Kiro Dev. If you see in short, if I have to explain you what Kiro Power is set of think is as a set of write tools and prompts or steering files which your agent is required to do certain tasks. So for example, here they have given some of the Kiro Powers where existing Kiro Powers. So for example, you have Stripe and you have Figma. So once this Stripe Kiro Power is associated with your agent. Now agent will know everything about Stripe at that point. What does it mean? The power will include all the API endpoints which is required to do certain tasks. At the same time, it will have all the instruction how those endpoints will be leveraged by your agent. Now, few important things about power. Now you go and first thing is that is what it needs. It's a power.md file where you describe what power actually does. So here is a very quick example where you see it has a display name and it has description and some keywords. Keywords is like so that your agent know when to use this power. Now the next thing is onboarding instructions. So think about it. Now this is something which is power is like once you have defined this power.md, the rest of the things is to enhance those powers. So think about it, there's a markup file where it can read. So it can be inside the steering files. At the same time, you see much more instruction, how that power will be used. So you see some of the example for database, some queries. So your agent knows how to make queries and what is the thing I'm looking for right now. The next important thing is an agent. Now agent, when we are talking about, is made up of two things. One is instructions, which is goes in the system prompt, and the next important thing is the right set of tools. Now the tools, there's a different ways to expose tools. One of the way is through MCP server. So Power also support to have a connection for external MCP servers. So you can see here, this is how you set up MCP server in a Power. So it's a simple mcp.json file where you can define the command and the your MCP server path and any environment which needs to pass. So for example, you need some auth keys, anything to be passed there can be passed through environment. This is a very quick example of what Power looks like. So you have a power.md, you have some EP server associated, and then you for each different workflows, you have some different system prompt files or steering files which can be used to guide your agent to achieve a certain task. Now there's the instructions how to run locally, and this is what we're gonna cover in this demo. Now when you think about sharing your power, it's super simple. You just publish into GitHub and anyone can, it's a public GitHub and anyone have access to that GitHub can use your power. Yeah, so that is much about the power. Let's go and see the real-time example. I'm gonna switch back to Kiro IDE. Now here you can see I have certain projects. I'm not gonna use those at this point. We're gonna create a new project. If you see on the left side and go at the bottom, you can see there's a second last. If you click on this is gonna load powers for you. Now if you don't have installed powers, you can click on add custom power. It allows you to either import directly from GitHub. So let's say somebody has published power in a GitHub, you can see it there, or if you have created power in your local machine, you can import from there. Now GitHub example, I can give it to you. Let's go back to our folder. Now this is one of the libraries which Kiro Dev have. Like there are multiple powers which you can use. So you can see you have a power for deploying in AgentCore, which we're gonna cover at this point. And you can, if you're using Amplify, you can use Amplify power. You have, if you are interacting with AWS services or CDK, you can use infrastructure as code. So there's a multiple powers. Now if we go inside power to see what it means, so I'm going to go to AgentCore, which you're going to be used here. So it's a simple mock-up file, like basically MD, which describe what agent has to do. Think about it like a system prompt for the agent to behave in a certain way, and it is more guided description for it. Similarly, if you go and you see the MCP server, like we said, so it have the access to the MCP server. It also tell what are the tools which are allowed, which it can take action on. You can have allow, and you can have like what you can say, disable some of the tools in this config. And then last you have staging files. So for each operation, so they support, let's say for gateway and for memory and get started, probably I think so it will become for deploying in a runtime. So for different operations, they have created MD file. The reason for that is if your instructions are very complicated, it's good practice to separate them into multiple files instead of creating a very big file. So let's go back to our IDE. So once you are in IDE and you have loaded your, so for example, I can go here and I can try to import it. Now, like I said, if it is a GitHub, you can directly from the GitHub, you can also import from your local. So it's the same one which we saw in a GitHub. So once it is loaded, you should be able to see it here in the list of installed powers. Once you click on it, it's gonna bring up this screen and it has an option to try power. Now, one thing what you're gonna do, we're gonna run try power. And once you hit this on the right hand corner, you can see that the power is loaded. It has loaded all those documents which is required, and you can also see it is describing what all it can do. And here, if so, this is one thing which what it does. It shows that it is waiting for your input. It's gonna pop this up as a notification. What it means is like there is a command which is going to run. It is just waiting for authorization. Now you have an option. You can edit this command. You can deny it. You can accept all. So in future, if there is a related commands to it, it will auto approve. Or you can just approve this, accept this command. So it's gonna run only one command. It's always good practice to just allow that specific command. So for example, it is trying to run a prerequisite. So AgentCore, there will be some kind of a prerequisite where it is trying to check if you have AWS CLI installed or you have agent access to the AgentCore. So those are the commands which it is running here. Now, once it is installed or the initial framework and a prerequisite done, is going to ask you if it want to create an agent for you. So there are two options. Like one is you can create a new agent with this power, like which is, for example, I created this hello agent, which is pretty straight. I think so it will give you a basic setup for AgentCore. But if you already have existing agent which you want to deploy, you don't have to. You can just give the path for the agent and say, I want to deploy this agent into AgentCore, and it's going to take care of that. Now, one thing we did, because I was creating from the starting. So you see, I just initialized with the hello agent, and then you see in the hello agent, it created the whole fledged solution for me. So the solution have a simple MCP server setup. It has a main file for the entry point, and yeah, it's an important lesson, execution compatibility, a simple agent which can just respond to your messages. Now what we're gonna do, it says perfect, now you can start the development server and test. So it is asking me to test in my local machine, and let's see, it is starting. So it started this. Let me try a different way to test. Okay, so the server is started in my local machine. Now let's see how it's gonna tell me to test this. Now it is activating. What is the command? Okay. So now, one thing, if you notice, like till now I haven't written a single line of code, and I'm just going with the instruction what it is providing me. Again, you don't have to go everything whatever it is suggesting. You can also steer it from this conversation. So you want to do something else, you don't like how the design of your agent is, you want to add something to your agent, so you can change it from these from this window. So you can see it responded to me that the code execution, I'm a helpful assistant. Okay, we try to ping from here and we can see that it is working in locally. So now once it is done, let's see, I'm gonna ask it to deploy into AWS environment. Now before that, I'm gonna show you how AgentCore looks like. So AgentCore, what our goal is to deploy it into our AgentCore runtime. If you're not familiar with AgentCore, it's nothing but designed for your agent compute. Basically, it is focused on running on your agents into AWS environment. And it provides a compute similar to Lambda and Fargate, which is called runtime. It also has some different capabilities, managing the memory and gateways to connect with MCP servers. I have a separate video for AgentCore which you can go over to understand it more, but there is no difference in pushing into the runtime for AgentCore and then Lambda or Fargate. So this is one example to showcase the use case of Power, but you can have a same Power design if you are deploying into a Fargate or Lambda. You can have same Power which can build the image into your for your agent and deploy into Lambda as well as Fargate based on your requirement. Can you add me this? Now it keeps asking this. Let's say it is fine. Let's deploy this in AgentCore. So now we can see it is deployed. Let's go to our AWS account and check it out. So now if you can see in AgentCore, we see another agent added into the list. And to test this, let's go back to our code. It did prompted out something to us. It says that agent is deployed, and to test this, you can use the following command, which is AgentCore invoke with the prompt. So let me just run this and then see. It is trying to call agent. Your hello agent is now successfully invoked. This. It also gives us an option. You can directly go if you want to check it by ourselves. So you can go to the folder and then run this command. And what we can do, we can just go and try it out by ourselves. Awesome. So you can see it is able to invoke the agent, and yeah. runtime session. It can say that, okay, invocation, there's a single invocation. So now we have seen, so what we have seen in this case, we have seen how we can include power, and with the help of the power, how you can achieve something. So in this case, what we did, we created a new agent, Strands agent, and we deployed into AWS AgentCore with the help of power, without writing a single line of code. So I would say give it a try. Try it for something else. There are multiple powers available here. I would say there are some you can use to deploy in Lambda or Fargate. That could be one case. You can use AWS infrastructure as code for that. And yeah, let me know what you think about it, or if you have any questions. Always here to help. Thank you, everyone. Have a good one.